During the point of worldly exploration, when we start to approach interests and passions with an open perspective, a hard and disproportionate question is preached and shoved down the throats of the many young and curious. That is, what do you want to be in life? This is probably one of the most frustrating questions, for me anyway, because it is like trying to figure out what will happen next in the universe. The universe as a microcosm of you is no different. In a constant state of flux, movement and cosmic dance, you cannot predict your own passions. What you find interesting at the tender age of 15 will probably be totally different when you are 20, 40 and 60. This question that expects one to answer a lifelong determination is asked most consistently at this age. At 15, I remember going into school assembly and they would play in the background the song 10 Years Time and then start battering on about what you will choose to be in the next couple of months for the rest of your life, when life had barely even begun. It was amusing and unsettling in retrospect because I fell for the illusion at the time of believing what I wanted to be, an idealistic state of being. I wanted to be a musician full-time or make it into a full-time job. It seems to be that our childlike naivety and impressionable character is extremely conforming to answering questions we think we can answer, and is even especially dangerous when so-called grown-ups pass on unanswerable questions to impressionable children, because many a time we indulge in quick thinking to answer the questions before actually experiencing a decent amount of life to do so. And again, I recently stumbled upon this self-inflicted cyclical thinking problem. Approaching university, I started thinking about what type of bachelor I should go for. Should I do philosophy, linguistics? What should I do? What do I want a career in? What do I want to do? Do I even want to go there? After thinking about it, I came to the conclusion that these questions we give ourselves are rooted in hope and fear. But paradoxically, it is these two products of overthinking that are nonetheless identical to each other, because they both produce self-torment. We torment ourselves over these questions, hoping for and fearing against the state of being in life as if it was a problem which we need to fix. And it was Hecate that said, "Cease to hope and you will cease to fear." End quote. We hope for the things that do not become our fears and fear the things that do not become our hopes. This torment we enforce on our lives is because we are told to view life implicitly as an inherent problem. And as all problems are, they all need to be fixed. If anything, we end up fixing not life or our own, but physically fixing ourselves to something that is not the answer, cementing one's life in a position of being, where one cannot move freely but only within the paradigms of one's own decision of rigidity. If we view life as a puzzle, something solvable, then are we not viewing life as being comprised of fixed states of being? That there are pieces which perfectly fit together, that never change, that you are just a piece in a puzzle that will perfectly fit with another forever? But life is not like that. There are no states of being, but only states of becoming. Everything is passing, changing, growing, appearing, moving. Nothing is stagnant, nothing stays the same. Hence why that horrid question of self-inflicted decay is never answered, and we may even lie to ourselves to do so. The self is never a state of being, only until our ego makes it so. And what lies behind the mask is something of complete potential. The ego seems to enjoy the category, to categorize the self with a particular state of being, to think that it has solved the personal bubble of life, but life in this case is not something that you should try to fix, because it is not in your powers to fix, and is not designed to be fixed. You are in a flux continuously, emotionally and passionately, so leave that be and allow it to follow through. Experience the world and craft it around your interests. Instead of asking the question, what do you want to be, ask the question of what do you want to become something that is not the definition of an immovable job title, to become an ever-changing vessel experiencing the world, to consistently become something that is always improving oneself. To conclude, life should be treated as an experience rather than as a problem. If we treat it as such, we will attempt to solve it by confining ourselves within an inflexible position. If we treat ourselves as being, we undermine our own consistent flexivity, which is instinctive and with our own nature. Overall, it is only natural to not know what one wants to be. Therefore, don't worry. Continue with your ever-revolving passions. Be critical, learn to be wise, and see where it takes you. What do you want to be? well, I can never be anything. There is no perfect state of me to be or of you, but only the progressive redemption of my own soul. I can only become something that then becomes something again until I become dead, in which case I continue in the game of constant flux. If you enjoyed this video and found it insightful, make sure to like, subscribe and comment down below to get involved in the discussion. Talking about discussion, you can find a link to the Thoughts on Thinking Facebook group down below, so make sure to join if you want to get involved in conversations about philosophy, sociology, psychology and literature. Make sure to follow my social medias such as Instagram and Twitter to keep up to date with everything that's going on, and also Patreon, where you can donate a minimum of $2. Lastly, a quick shout out to all my patrons. Thank you to Daniel Kazmi, The Truthism, Noah Shahad, John Bisham, Richard, Walter, Mark Smith and Maggie DC for supporting me on Patreon. Thanks for watching and I will speak to you in the next video.